What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Two Kill Time podcast, the TKT podcast. I'm Kane. This is Travis and TJ. We got a very special guest here, one of TJ's close family members, Jason. Welcome to the podcast, brother. I hope you are having a wonderful day. It has been a week since episode 21. It is now episode 22. How was your week, brother?
Man, transparency moment. My week was a bit nutty.
Word?
Yeah, a bit nutty. So to make a long story short, I was previously just working at Rivers Casino Resorts here in Schenectady, and
Yep.
situation happened where where a guy got robbed um in my hotel area, and
Oh shit!
Damn.
I ended up getting fired for it, which I officially got fired today for it. So if I'm
Man.
being honest, if I'm being honest, I'm kind of definitely kind of has me a little depressed and down. Like
For
as a
sure.
man, as a husband, as a father, me being able to provide for my family is something that's super important to me. Being able to assist in that stability in the household and being a provisionary, it's something that's very important. So losing this definitely has me at a very questionable state. But my resolve is to continue to move forward and to realize every closed door is not a end all be all.
For sure.
It does happen in life, and the good thing to have around you is a good support net, good support system.
For sure.
It's
Yeah.
it's not the end of everything. So shout out to my wife. She's my backbone. She definitely holds it down, and I continue, still be the husband, father, and example to my kids. Which I mean, that's something super important to me. Other than that, the week's been pretty chill. I haven't killed any of my kids yet. So
Word?
that's
That's
a good
always
thing.
good.
That's always a
For
Yeah,
plus,
sure.
bro.
yeah.
I mean,
That's
I
I'm
always.
mean, I'm pretty sure it's kind of illegal to do so, frowned
but
upon,
hey,
whatever,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
you never
Very
know. You
frowned
never know.
upon.
You never know. I'm
Something
sorry to
like
hear
that.
that
Something like
that
that.
you've lost your
So
job, man.
yeah,
Obviously, that's not anything that we like to see, but it's always good to have a positive outlook. Like you said, it's always good to have a good net around you, a good safety net with people in your surroundings. So that, like I said, great outlook to have. If you don't mind, just giving us a little background on yourself, kind of what you're about, who you are, how you grew up, things like that. Just a quick intro.
sure, I could definitely do that. So I was born and raised in New York City, Harlem to be exact. Shout out to the 212. Um, Grew up in a two-family household, well, two-parent household. That really kind of wasn't a two-parent household. That's a long story and everything, but grew up with around a lot of love. My parents raised us in a church, so definitely have a what they would call a religious background. We'll get into the air quotes later, hopefully, but ended up I was really good at school, especially with music, performing, and everything like that. I learned how to play the drums in the church alongside with my brother. Uh, I went to a performing arts high school, junior high school, and got so good at the instrument that I learned that I had a full scholarship to one of the best music schools in the world, which is called Juilliard. Not sure if you guys heard of it,
Oh yeah.
but it's
Holy shit.
super prestigious. On a full scholarship. I played clarinet. I played all four saxophones. I
There's
played
4
oboe,
saxophones.
bassoon.
There's
Yeah.
four different.
So
I
there's
thought it was just like
soprano.
Let's
saxophone.
narrow that down. Hold on.
Nah. So there's soprano, alto, tenor, and baritone. Now,
Damn.
mind you, they're all pretty similar, except the soprano and the tenor have the same uh are tone in the same note, and the alto and the baritone are basically, they mirror the same. But so yeah, I play all four of those. I kind of taught myself how to play a little bit of the piano by ear, drums, conga, timbale. Music
This
was
guy,
my
bro.
thing.
Oh yeah. I see. I am the
This guy's a
least
one man
musical.
fucking band.
Yeah. The most I can do is produce music a little bit, but other than that, hand me an instrument, I'd recorder
I mean,
maybe,
I used to
but
play a
If you
mean
hand me an
trumpet in fifth
instrument,
grade, but that's all I had.
I
That's
was gonna play the trumpet, but pause. I didn't like how you had to structure your lips. That sounded
word.
bad. There was no way I could dress that up.
no, I
That
mean,
just
yeah.
sounded bad. But
Facts.
but yeah, so I ended up, being really good at that, so good at that to the point where I started getting, and this is when, life really starts taking the beginning of a downward slope. I start, involving myself in the street life, selling drugs, gang banging. Um, my mom's wasn't having it. I had one of those mothers, like I said, was raised in the church, so she wasn't having all that. So I got kicked out when I was real young, was living on the streets, sleeping in staircases, park benches, wherever,
Damn.
my friend's house, wherever I could or whatever, eating however I could, basically getting it how I live. Bad turned to worse, started going back and forth to jail. Um, my best friend's little sister, which I consider my family, she got shot and killed when I was 20, and
Damn.
that definitely hit me hard because like we were like family. So from there, a year later, I left New York and I moved to the middle of nowhere. Guess me where? Guess where I moved. I'll give you three guesses of where I moved. Mind you, it's the middle of nowhere.
Damn.
like a different state.
Yeah, is it a different
Yeah,
state or a new?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Different state.
Tallahassee.
Wyoming.
No Wyoming, no Tallahassee.
I'm
Which
gonna
Okay.
say
Tallahassee
North
sounds a
Dakota.
dream to where I was. Close,
You could
close,
take a
but no.
train from Tallahassee to where you were.
Yes, you can. Would you want to? No.
Damn.
I ended up moving to Iowa.
Word.
Oh, okay. Okay. That was in the
Yeah,
realm. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was, it was. Yeah, it's just close to the Midwest and everything. Um, it saved my life in a lot of ways because I know if I'd have stayed in New York, I would have been definitely in jail for life or I'd have been dead. So that definitely saved my life. But I still was real immature minded and everything, and still trying to live that young life. Still selling drugs and everything. End up still going back and forth to prison. I had gotten married at some point in that time, and had three kids back to back, which I suggest no one do. I suggest no one. Like if you're gonna have kids, give yourself time, give that time.
Space them
But that's
out.
for
Yeah,
another
give yourself a
conversation.
little
Yeah.
air.
So my first three kids, my first son was born February 9th. My second son was born January 4th. My first daughter was born March 21st. So literally January, February,
Wow.
Wow,
March.
you
Yeah,
ain't
so
I
literally
have
like
you ain't
babies.
fuck
13 months
around.
separation.
Nah,
You went three
nah,
for three with
man.
this.
Listen, from the line, the accuracy from the line though is impeccable. But
Can't beat it.
yeah, but
Strong
so
swimmer.
shortly after that I got divorced and just because I was in the wrong mindset. I was still very immature to a lot of things despite my age and everything. So I left New York after I ended up, getting in some trouble. I mean, I left Iowa after I done get some trouble and ran here actually to Schenectady and stayed with my brother. I was on a run and we had a house party that we were throwing after sets and that, and ended up getting which they had to ship me back to Iowa to finish my time. So I finished my time and I got out in 2017 in January. Um, Things happened. I ended up back in New York City, um, which ended up having me come back upstate. And in that process, I had met my wife, which she went to my dad's church, which how this all comes about to where I am now. Through her relationship and just me tired of running, I ended up giving my life back to God and acknowledging that there is a greater cause for me to be here and the impact that it all has, everything that I went through was for a reason, is to tell a story to someone else, So um me and my wife, we got married actually pretty quick after we met, and 5 years, almost 6 years later, here I am, two more kids, a couple of more pounds, no hair, um, and basically still trying to tell my story to someone that may need to hear
That's
it, and
awesome, man. I mean,
that's pretty much who I am.
you definitely came a long way. I mean, just
Dude,
off
that's
rip,
a yeah.
obviously have some questions. Did you just
Okay,
randomly land in Iowa, or did you? Is that where you chose to go?
so it just so happened the summer that
Oh,
I had met a girl from Iowa
okay,
who she was in New York City. It was her first time. She was shopping around and everything like that. Um, and I ended up meeting her, getting to know her and everything like that. So she knew about what happened and she knew what type of life I was living. Like I said, I was, I was everybody in my hood knew me.
gotcha.
From like 101st and Madison all the way up the east side to like 127th and Second, down to the west side. We're talking about in the 140s, 150s, 160s. Like I was really known. You know what I mean?
Damn.
And I was known for not just who I was, but what I did. Like I took this gang life serious. I mean, like I was really out here on all of the nonsense, on all of it. You know what I mean? I was hot headed, so she knew what that came with. Like it got so crazy that I had people showing up to my door, showing up to my house when I wasn't there, you know, telling my moms, "Hey, where's your son?" I mean, we looking for him. Tell him so and so is looking for him. Which that was spiraling to more trouble and more trouble and more
Yeah,
trouble.
yeah.
So, the girl from Iowa, she suggested like, "Yo, listen, why don't you just come out here? You can start over. You don't have to worry about a lot of that. The gang nonsense there. The street life there. You can start over, whole clean slate and everything like that." And it's something that my aunt always told me. My aunt Pat. Sometimes in order to restart your story, you got to get a blank page.
For
So
sure.
I looked at it as a blank page,
Yeah.
and it's something that, like I said, I regardless of everything that I went through while I was there and when I was there, it's something that I never regret.
Awesome, man. I mean, uh, obviously with different situations, relocation happens all the time. But like you said, blank slate, blank page is really what a lot of people need, just in terms of not necessarily starting over, but just a fresh start, if that makes sense. So I mean, not
Yeah,
restarting
clean
your whole
Most
life,
slate.
but
Just
like
definitely.
something to
it's just it's worked for me and Haley. I mean, we moved from New York to Tennessee, not to get a clean start, but different reasons. But I mean, we found pretty good
Hmm.
success down here, and we're doing pretty well for ourselves. So again, I think that attests to what your aunt used to tell you. It's just
like you said, it's not necessarily a whole new it's just a new chapter.
yeah, exactly,
It's
Exactly.
not a whole fresh start.
for sure,
Yeah. I think that
But
if you ever think about it as like a whole new book, there's a problem in that because you erase every single chapter before that, and a lot of times those previous chapters, they're important.
for sure.
They tell
yeah.
a good part of your story, and even if you don't think it's vital to you, it'll be vital for someone else to life. So it's important to evaluate and keep in remembrance everything that you went through. Not in a sense of, oh man, I wish I was back there, or oh man, I messed up so bad when I was back there. Like, no, like look at what I came through. I mean,
Yeah, for
like
sure.
that's the important part of your past, is just to remind you of how far you've come. So with the past that I had, like I said, from not knowing where I was gonna sleep or what I was gonna eat that day to me having a few more pounds than I need. I mean, it's that's a testament within itself, like
Yeah.
I don't regret any of it, and then I have something that I can tell my kids. Like I can be the living example without having to tell them all these war stories. Like it's it's different when you can tell a war story and when you are a war story. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so I can be that
Yeah.
war
Jason,
story for
man,
my
you are
kids.
spreading, dude. You're giving me some chills over here, brother.
I
I'm not even
mean,
gonna lie to
that's
you.
you see when a person has real life in their pocket and everything like that, as far as the experiences you that. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
can look someone in the face and tell them, "Yo, I understand where you are. I understand what you're going through. I understand how you feel because I felt that. I've been there."
Yeah.
I mean, like it's like a person. So I look at it like this: it's like a person that's never done drugs or never drank alcohol, trying to tell you, "Man, you shouldn't do drugs. You shouldn't drink alcohol. It's bad for you." Duh, it's bad for
Yeah.
you. Duh. But how, like, how can you give me an example of something that I'm already
Yeah. How would
Yeah, like you're
in
looking
unless
for a
you've been in
You
it?
see
relatable
what I mean?
I
That's
intellectual
mean,
content.
wisdom right there,
you
dude.
can't relate. You can't relate because you
Exactly.
you don't know how it feels. You don't know what it feels like to drink just because you don't want to feel pain.
Yeah.
You don't know what it
yeah.
feels like to smoke because you need your mind to be elsewhere because where you're physically at right now is too much for you. You
For
know what I
sure.
mean? You don't know what it's like to pop pills because your anxiety is through the roof and you really can't like so you like don't tell me nothing that you can't really feel. That's why I appreciate every single scar and wound that I've amassed over my life. I appreciate every single one because they all tell a story, you know?
For
And
sure.
and, and you have to your story is gonna be the thing that saves someone. Not just who you are at that moment. It's where you came from in moments before, So that's why
Yeah.
I'm happy for everything that I've been through.
I think you should start your own something like a TED Talk or something. You got some good stuff there.
You know what's
Oh
crazy?
man.
I've heard this like I'm gonna say a good handful of times. A good handful of times. Man, why don't you start your own podcast, man? Why don't you start, just giving like daily devotionals or daily inspirational quotes and I'm like, yeah, that sounds good, but I got diapers to change, bro. Like
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
which that's all true, but then again, if I feel like now, thanks for the pressure, because now I feel like I have to. Now I feel like I have to because
That's like
No
half.
problem,
That's
man.
what half
yeah,
of this podcast has turned into is just us saying we're gonna do something, being like, "Fuck, now we got to do it because we just said it on the podcast."
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Now I feel like I have to because if I don't, I'm devaluing every single thing that I went through by not sharing it with others.
Exactly, man.
I mean,
Well, that
and
Like,
man
like you
is
said,
and
it's all
and
it's all about your story, and that story may just help somebody else in the future.
yeah, man.
it may just. I mean, I also I ended up, you know, after I gave my life back to God and went through that process of just really discovering who I am, who I was, and the things that hurt me, and beginning to heal and everything. And mind you, my wife was there through all of this. And again, shout out to you, babe. You are the coldest, the best. I mean, I ended up discovering a genre of music that really helped me. And it's something that I never thought that I'd find. And it was because of her. Mind you, like I said, I always did music. I always wrote and everything like that. I was actually rapping and everything. And after I decided, to rededicate my life, I'm like, well, I can't. I can't in good conscience call myself a Christian or whatever it is that you would like to title it as, and still be out here talking about how fill in the blank. You know, um,
Yeah,
I,
what
I
rap
can't, I
is.
can't. Yeah, yeah, you feel me? Like I
Yeah.
can't really do that. So I'm like, man, I'm stuck because I have a whole gift, a whole thing that I love to do that I can never do anymore. And then I found Christian hip hop, and bro, it's different. It's different. It's the feel about it. Just everything about it is different. Mind you, I mean, some artists that I found are, if I'm being frank, some are corny, some are just not good. Some their quality
Every genre's got that though.
For
you know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the message, the message that is being delivered through all of this is super dope. So I just maybe a year or so ago I started taking it a little bit more seriously. Not as seriously as I probably should, especially at this stage. But I have started like recording songs and everything like that, which is I have the mic, I have the headphones. Um so I did start recording some songs. TJ, I actually got a song with your aunt on it. Bet you ain't
Really?
know that.
There we
Bet you ain't
go.
know
No,
that.
I
I'm gonna
did
send. I'm
not.
gonna
I
send
did
it to you.
not. Yeah,
I'm gonna
run
send it to
that.
you too. I'm gonna send it to
Make
you.
sure you share that. Make sure you share that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I do Christian hip hop, and being that I'm not working now, I'll have more of an opportunity to um get
Really
more
dive into it.
dedicated back in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, for me, it's not about the fame, it's not about the notoriety, it's not about the money. Um, it's about the message, and the cliche thing is a lot of people say that, but not a lot of people mean that. Or they can
True.
mean that until they get the notoriety and the fame and the money, and
And
then
then it
their
goes
whole
away.
definition of it. Yeah, you feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it, I don't I don't want that going in the door. And plus I have a wife that, she she knows how to lovingly keep me grounded and recentered and refocused. I mean, so that's something that I definitely want to be able to I want to be able to do most definitely. But I mean that's my story as is in a nutshell though.
Are you putting out music on any platforms? Your wife just said that you're on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to shout those out real quick so everybody can check them out, definitely do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
sure. So on YouTube, you can find me at jstrong838. Same thing for Facebook, same thing for Instagram. Um, I don't have anything up on my Twitch, but same thing on my Twitch,
Perfect.
Copy
Discord.
that.
Um, I have a
He's into
huh?
Christian rap. He's been listening to it
Really?
for a minute.
Yeah, so Jason,
So who's
I
your
have a
favorite artist?
coworker. I like Bizzle a lot, man. I don't know who that is. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So
that's my guy right there. Yeah.
yeah, so the way I found him, man, I have a coworker. His name is Manny, and
Mhm.
he's a Christian as well. He actually has a similar story. Obviously, there's differences, but there's
Mhm.
a similar story in there, and he turned his life around and got himself right. So he's into Christian rap, and some of it's really good, man. I'm not gonna lie. Rotations, like
Mhm.
definitely, definitely good vibes.
That's
I
what's
just
up,
for
man.
it's just it's hit or miss, low key. When you show
No,
me,
I get it.
when you show me, I'm like,
Like sometimes there's like fire bars, and then other times you're like, eh.
and then sometimes I'm like, nah.
Well, see, so sometimes me, not even bangers, it's more of just an eye opener, and it
Mhm.
really makes you think, and that's why I kind of get attracted to that music in a sense. Is because it's a different type of vibe than just regular rap and like other music. You know what I mean?
For
I
sure.
do like
Most
that.
definitely.
There's like, cause like rap nowadays is all just about like banging women,
Yeah,
spending money, doing
yeah,
drugs.
like
But like that type of shit has a whole different like
Yeah,
vibe to it. I don't know how to
it has
explain
a
it.
whole different meaning. It's so when you how can I sum this up quick? So when you judge the comparison between gospel rap and regular rap, um, the agenda is completely different.
For
Right.
sure.
With regular
Definitely.
Yeah, I
rap,
mean
the
that's
agenda is to self perpetuate an image and to
To be the
glorify the things that seem attractive, the things that
yeah
seem popular.
the
I
things that
mean,
are
whereas
quote unquote cool.
right,
Like
you
yeah,
know,
trying to be
the
the
cars, the
richest,
money, the
coolest.
women,
Yeah.
the even down to the swag, the you know what I mean, all of
Yeah.
that. I
for
mean,
sure.
whereas gospel rap or real gospel rap, such as artists that you just named, like Bizzle, who's he's top three favorite,
Yeah,
favorite.
he's really good,
Um,
man.
but his whole camp is fire too. But yeah, we'll talk about that at a later time. But
Yeah. I'll
when
message
you
you on
get to real
Facebook. We'll
gospel,
talk about it, bro.
no, definitely do that, definitely do that. But when you get into real gospel rap, like the goal is to uplift, to educate, to break the stereotypes, to break the generational cycle that we all, no matter what race or ethnicity or background you're from, there's a cycle there. So the goal is to break that cycle and to ultimately lead people to Christ, not just the Christ that they may have heard of or may have had some experience from, which may have led to a bad experience. Um, it's to lead people to who he really is, not who the people are. I mean, which is the reason why I kind of love doing it because I've always loved, even when I was in the world, I've always loved breaking stereotypes. What people automatically think and assume when they see you or when they hear you versus when they actually encounter you.
That's
I
our
was
favorite
always
thing in
this.
the world, yo. When him and I
Yeah,
step on a basketball court, oh, it's
Yeah,
the
man.
best. Oh, it's the best.
you're not that good, bro.
Hey,
You're not.
Oh,
You're
hey,
mediocre.
yo.
You're not.
wow.
You're not that. You're not that.
Wow.
I've already issued my challenge, and you didn't. But we'll get to that. Don't worry about it. I
You
mean,
ain't
you know I live
accept?
by
Oh,
the.
when was this? We can run it.
Stop
We can
it,
run
bro.
it.
Stop.
Yeah,
Listen,
you just don't want
stop.
to get
Matter of
embarrassed. I
fact,
get it. I get it.
we just seen you on a court this summer, and you was quiet as a
I was
you went
cooking. What are you
and
talking about?
cooking. Oh my god. All right, all right. We'll let your story slide. We'll let your story.
Anyways,
But now the reason so I've always been the shortest person in any circle that I've been in. Always been the shortest, somewhat the smallest,
Same.
but I was always the first to punch you in the face.
Kane starts nodding along. He's like,
Same.
You know what I mean? But I've always been the first person to punch you in the face because I felt like I had to, because I was always slept on. So now, when it comes to when it comes to this genre of gospel rap or Christian hip hop, um, I feel like there's a stigma that a lot of people have on just God and on the church and a lot of things like that, and it's because they've gotten bad examples through people. They've seen a lot of bad examples, which turns them off from even wanting to encounter God. Which, if I'm being honest, I can understand because I've got some of those same bad examples growing up and everything. You know what I mean, like you can ask my wife, like when I first met her, it wasn't at church. I'm like, man, listen, you go ahead. I'm gonna be right here rolling up. You come
yeah.
home, we can go out, but I'm not. I hated everything about it. Hated everything about it. I mean, and some of it was for good reasons, some of it wasn't. But I hated what it stood for. Then I had to mature some and learn differently. And now my understanding of it is completely different to where it's not his fault, our fault. And we are human, we are imperfect beings, and I get that and I understand. But a proper improper misrepresentation of anything can stain the whole thing completely. So I feel like a lot of people in the world they got the wrong idea of who Jesus is because of the representatives that call themselves Christians or call themselves believers or whatever the case may be. So my goal is to live transparently and give my life story so that people can see all of the scars that come along with this and still see where I am now. That's my ultimate goal. Sorry, I also disclaimer. I drink really loud. My wife hates it. Like she hates it, but she says I
You're
drink
good,
super
man.
loud. So
Oh, good.
you hear that? I
Yeah,
hear that in my
you
headphones.
definitely fucking drink loud.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Jesus.
I get that. I
My
get that. I
sister's gonna
totally
kill me,
get
but she drinks as loud as a motherfucker. Dude, I've never. It's like,
Dude, go like
Like-
sit down.
yeah, like she's drowning. Is how it sounds.
She's gonna choke.
She's gonna kill me.
I
for
mean,
that one.
hey, listen. Some people drink louder than others. I don't think that we should be shamed for it.
Oh no,
We don't we don't drink shame. Okay, we don't drink
Oh, no,
shame.
we're not shaming.
We don't drink shame. I'm gonna make a T-shirt that says that.
Bet.
Hopefully, people don't take that the
We
wrong
don't
way.
drink
That
Yeah,
could be really trendy though. That could be a trendy thing. We
Facts.
don't drink shame.
Yeah, because I mean,
yeah.
it could be many things. Like you got loud gulpers, right? But then you also have the guys that go to a bar and get like a fucking apple martini. We don't drink shame. Boom.
Yeah, dude, for real.
I
Multi-purpose.
like your spin on that.
Multi-purpose.
I like
Right?
I like your spin on that. See, this
all
is
the marketing.
This is what marketing dreams are made of. Yeah,
Exactly.
This is what marketing dreams
We're
are
on the
made of,
same
bro, for
wavelength
real.
right now.
Oh yeah. Oh
Dude,
yeah.
I think
oh,
they're
yeah.
onto something already.
They're cooking.
It,
Brewing.
it sounds legit, bro. Like I would buy into it. I really would.
sure.
It
Wherever
sounds
you guys
legit.
are going, take us with you.
Yeah. Let me
Straight to the top, baby.
station.
I don't know nothing but the top, man. So
Exactly.
that's the destination.
For sure.
Oh man. So what about? And I know you guys are supposed to be doing an interviewing, but
That's fine.
we always like
We're
my
open.
mind always
We
gets
bounce all the
What-
time.
I didn't get the story too in depth from TJ. So what made you guys want to start doing podcasts and start not just doing podcasts, but from what I understand, you guys like touch on a lot of different topics, serious ones, light ones, sports ones, so what made you
Yeah,
guys want to
yeah.
put the
Yeah.
conglomeration of conversation together and start filming it and doing a podcast for it?
Yeah, so our biggest thing is just, I mean, we talk all the time. We're boys, and like you said, we touch on a bunch of different topics. So, and I think we actually talked about this either last week or the week before. I think it was Jeff's episode 19 or something like that, where he was like, "Where did you guys come up with the idea?" And the reason why we don't have a topic is because it's so hard to explain to people that we don't have a topic, in a sense, because we talk about everything. Like we tailor our topic to the guest. So when Jeff came on, we really hit on Mormonism and the Church of Latter-day Saints, whatever. And when Kirby came on, we talked about COVID and a lot of different other things in sports, because that, to me, and I think to Travis and TJ too, it's what's relevant in our lives. Like, even though the listeners
for
out
sure.
there may not give a shit about what we talk about, like last week we did a 45-minute segment on the fucking moon being fake. Like, it's just,
Motherfucker, man.
it's just like dumb conversations like that may brighten somebody else's day. It may be like a serious conversation, like when we had Troy on, who was a soldier. Like, he's one of my good friends. He had a lot of good stories to tell. It's just that's what we want to do, is we just want to tell good
We just
stories.
like to have an outlet. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just like to be able to.
It's not just a
It's
release for
nice
us,
to
and
once a
it's an
week-
escape for everybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
A good hour of just us shooting the shit on whatever's going on or whoever. And here we are now.
Nice.
And then another reason was, Kane moved out to Tennessee. Besides tonight, of course, I'm here with TJ, but TJ's also not, an hour away from me. So we did this to kind of bring each other closer, even though we're already close. We just wanted to.
Gives us an excuse to talk to each other like once or twice a
Yeah.
week,
Yeah. Then we wanted to share our stories. Like,
It's a definitely,
You know what I mean?
over the course of time, we're definitely a lot closer, the three of us, than
Yeah.
when we started.
Especially like
Yeah.
again, like you said, over time, it looking back too, like this is all on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Like this is all
It'll
stuff we can go
forever.
back and look back on. It's like you said, tell a story, man. That's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to tell our story and let other people tell theirs. It gives people like you and my dad a place to come and just be like, hey, like this is what happened to me, and this is why like you need to not think this is the end all be all. Like you can look up regardless of what your outlet is to get there. We're just here to make our stories known and other people be able to tell their story and to not let people think they're alone, I guess, is really kind of why we're doing it. And the
Yeah.
name To Kill Time is just, I mean, that's what we're doing. We're just killing time. We're giving people an hour escape, I think, is really all we're doing.
So, on this moment, right? I really thought TKT were just a nice way that you guys strung together your initials.
It is. Yeah, no, like that.
It's
So,
both.
so yeah, when we were trying to come up with a name, we were like, we either wanted to do it TTK or KTT or TKT, whatever, and we were like, okay, we should do it this way, and then just find a way to like work it in, and it just that was one of the first ones we came up with was To Kill Time.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's dope, man. That's
Dude,
dope.
so we've now said that out loud a couple, handful of times to people, and every time, dude, like,
Everyone thinks it's
let's
dope.
go.
Yeah,
We
like,
did good with that, man.
for sure.
We did. We
10
sat
minute
down
brainstorm.
for what, like 20
You guys
minutes?
nailed
Yeah,
it.
it was
came
literally
up
it
with,
was
like,
in a
60
Snapchat
different
group chat.
ideas.
And we were just like, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And then we were like, oh, what about, because originally we were going to do Time to Kill. And then I think Travis was like, what about To Kill Time? And we were like, yeah, okay, let's run it, like fucking, and went with it.
Plus, it wasn't taken already.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
was dope. That was hard too,
That's
to find a
important.
name that wasn't already.
That is super important.
For
Listen,
sure.
I went through that when I decided to think about like what my rap name was gonna be and everything, and um
Whatever.
and
We lost some audio there.
Well, I think we're back.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we're back now.
Hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So like I was saying, like I had for a while I was struggling with the idea of like, okay, so what is my rap name gonna be? You know, because I had went by a name in the streets for so long, like it's sometimes, especially people that knew me then, like they still call me it, but I know I needed something that disassociated myself from that.
Yeah.
So what I did
separates.
was I took the first letter of my first name in it. So it just made sense to keep it as J Strong because that's who I am. And the X to me represents the death or the canceling out of who I used to be or my old life, which ironically literally is the O. So it just made more sense to me and
Damn.
everything.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's fire.
And honestly, I don't even know like what really, like I was just literally we were living in North Carolina, and I'm sitting in and I'm like, okay, so how can I do this? How can I do this? How can I do this? I'm like, I was looking at something that had my name on it, and I'm like, that's it. And
There
just
it
take
is.
the O.
It clicks like a light bulb.
And I'm glad that I took the O out, because if you look on YouTube or you look anywhere, whatever, like there's a bunch of J Strongs,
Yeah.
but not
Probably,
one of them
yeah.
not one of them has the X in it.
Yeah.
So it's something that helped me to stand out and everything. So
For sure.
it's just, I mean, it's something that kind of accidentally, which I can't even call it accidentally. I think that it was a divine impartation. Like it was something that was supposed to happen. It was meant to happen. Like it's something that God wanted me to stumble upon. So um I'm like I said, I don't take anything like that. Like even little things like my name, I don't take it for granted, because a person can hear the story of just as simple a story like how you got your name and be like, man, I find inspiration in that, you know. And if that's
I
what it does for
definitely,
someone,
I definitely
hmm,
feel that with my name though. Like, no disrespect, but there's a reason I go by TJ and not Thomas or Tom or
Yeah.
nothing, because I wanted to. I don't know. I didn't want to be known as like Junior. I wanted to have like my
mm,
own. I wanted to have
yeah,
like my like everyone who knows me, like TJ just fits.
Yeah.
Like it's
I can
just
mm,
imagine calling you.
Yeah.
anything
If
else.
you're like, yo, I want to go by Thomas now, I'd be like, that fucking sucks.
I'd be like, yeah, that sucks for you.
Yeah, like word, because
Yeah, no,
that, you
it's
know what's
definitely.
crazy about that is like, and no disrespect to anyone who does, any parents that do it, whatever, but that was always the one thing that made me not ever want to have any of my kids be junior, because I
Yeah,
feel like to me it's you're robbing that child of their future, and you're enforcing them to kind of live under your shadow because that's all they'll be known by.
yeah,
You know what I
especially
mean?
like
Like,
like think
Yeah, I can.
about
Yeah,
like
I
in
see
our
that.
in Mayfield, like small town. If Travis had a son and named him Travis Frazier Jr., immediately like it clicks like who his
yeah,
dad is, and yeah, it goes right back to all that. I mean, like even just same last name. I had older sisters in high school, and I mean I got referred to all the time as like Hiller Shauna's little brother, whatever. But I obviously made a name for myself that stopped pretty quickly. Like I feel like I was a pretty notable student in high school. Like pretty much everybody knew me, but
hmm,
I could not imagine being like a Paul Wilder Jr. because like my grandfather's
no,
name is
hmm,
Paul Wilder, but my dad's is too, different middle names, so he's not a junior. So it's a little bit different,
hmm.
but I just can't imagine, like you
Oh,
said,
I didn't know
you have that
that.
shadow over everyone.
It's not just the shadow. It's so what I don't think people real, and I think sometimes people do it selfishly. The stigma behind it is, oh well, I want them to carry on my name. Usually, not in every sense, but 9 out of 10, that kid has your last name, so your name is being carried on. But what you
yeah,
don't understand
Yeah.
is that child is not just gonna have to live up to your accomplishments, but also they're gonna be reminded, like people are gonna remind them of your failures as well. It's not
Exactly.
fair to them. You rob them of their identity by not allowing them to develop completely 100% their own. You know what I mean? Um, that's something that I never wanted to do with my kids, and like I told you guys before we came on, like I have a bunch of them, so I couldn't imagine any of them have to, be reminded of the things that I've failed at or fallen short at just because they're my child. Like, nah, every time I want somebody to acknowledge them, I want them to acknowledge them for them, who they are and
Yeah.
what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because it's hard enough as it is to become your own. Especially
yeah,
us as males. Like we live in a world that I don't care what nobody says. It's harder becoming a man. I mean, so now you have to become a man and have to fight all of the things that came along with your name. Like that's like trying to rollerblade being legless. I mean, like that's it's
Wild
No
hard to
analogy
do.
shit,
there.
Like,
dude.
yeah.
oh
Holy
nah, yo,
fuck.
my analogies are crazy, bro. Crazy, like
Yeah.
crazy. Like and sometimes I don't even know where it comes from. I don't even know that I'm doing it, but like I've always had a way with words, and the way that my mind works, like it's just some things just naturally comes out. Like it's trippy. It's trippy. That for
Blessing.
sure, for sure. But but I mean, I think the state and the climate of this world hopefully is gonna become a little better and make it a little normal for
And
men
say better than what it is.
to actually be men.
Can only go up from here, right?
I mean,
You would
you
think.
Yeah,
can
like how
only
much
go
worse
on from
can it
here.
get?
A lot, a
Yeah,
lot,
yeah. That
a
was
lot worse.
kind of a
Like
rhetorical
Yeah,
question.
yeah, I feel like that
people,
was definitely.
people always say, "Oh man, this is so bad," and da 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 da. But I always quickly remind them it can always be worse. No matter how worse it is, there's always a level under that you could be on. So
I feel like
keeping that in
I feel like
mind
it
helps
also.
you to. Hmm?
No, I was go ahead.
Oh
I was gonna
no,
say I feel like real talk. If you're always down in the dumps, but you kind of like you're always looking at that, you know, like like you're always like,
If you're
damn, I
always
didn't
negative
get
about
this or I
things, you're
didn't
never
do
gonna
this.
be
Yeah, it's
positive.
never
Like
gonna
it's never gonna
change.
go up. You have to have a positive mindset in order to
You
breed
have to you
positivity.
have to be trying to grow.
Positivity
Otherwise, you're
breeds
just
positivity, and positivity breeds success, baby. Always said
true
that.
shit.
I think another key point to that is not just positivity, because sometimes positivity is a false face that people put on to have an appearance. In my personal opinion, I feel like
That's fair.
perspective and perception plays a more pivotal role in things than sometimes
Are huge.
positivity does.
Me and
Because
TJ just
how
had a whole convo, like
Yeah,
about an
because
hour long
how
about that.
you look at something can ultimately change what that something is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can look at
oh,
something as
definitely.
either you can look at any situation as either in one or two ways. It's either going to be an opposition or it's going to be an opportunity. So if you look at it as an opposition, then that means that your mindset, your view, and the way you look at things is usually or normally going to be under the more negative pretense. This is a problem. This is something that's negative. This is something that I can't get over. This is, or it's going to be an opportunity. Or this is a chance for me to show what I really have, what I'm really made of. This is a chance for me to overcome something again. Or in my instance, this is a chance to show the world the guy that I believe in. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all gonna go either one of two ways. You're either gonna look at life in the sense of it being an opposition or an opportunity. And you have the beautiful gift to choose which one. No one's gonna make you or force you to look at either way. You choose one. And you get that choice every single day that you wake up. Every single chance that you get to open your eyes and breathe and get out of your bed. You have that option. I raise my kids with this type of mindset every single day. Now, do they grasp it? Are they does it stick in sometimes? I think so. I mean, but it's
If
all
it
about
doesn't
how you look
now,
at something.
Well,
it will.
Listen, Tej, I am hoping and praying so, especially for your little cousin, cause man, listen, man, nah, you need to come over and have a talk with him. Maybe take him out the house, or I mean,
yeah,
because I think he needs that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He's
definitely.
not getting that. Now Caleb is good. He has his times, he has his days or whatever. Eric though, Eric is Eric. Eric is Eric.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Eric is Eric. But I
All right.
mean, I think that the difference in them two is that one is going to be able to learn from other people's experiences, and the other is going to have to go through them himself.
Yeah,
Have
for
to go
sure.
through it. Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because, like, with the life that I live, I would never want him to live a tenth of what I went through. I mean, like, I've been shot at, I've been stabbed, I've been jumped, hospitalized. I mean, like, I've like ate basically off the floor. I mean, like, I've had to plot and scheme on where I slept that night. I don't want him to have to go through that. I mean, but
Yeah.
some things I
No one
also
should.
something is I also realize that I'm not going to be able to save him from. That's the rough thing about being a parent, man. Do any
Yeah,
of you
you
have
can't.
kids?
No, thank
no.
God.
No, thank God.
I tell you what, man. If I can give y'all any advice, I wouldn't even say wait as long as you can, but I would say when you are stable, mature, and healed enough for it, that would be the best time to do it. And I feel like the last one that I said is the most important because
Mature enough.
uh no, I'm not mature. Being healed, like, or maybe did I say mature last? I'm not sure. Like
I
I
can't
have an
maybe.
old mind, like, but to be healed from things before you begin to create a future is super pivotal. Not a lot of parents do that, myself included. But what some of us parents don't realize is that we unknowingly may pass on a lot of the things that we hurt from still to our kids, and in a sense that's selfish because a new life doesn't deserve that. You know what I mean? So I would definitely suggest, that before you travel along that road, make sure you have those things in order. And remember, you're not gonna be perfect. You're not. Like, there's no manual to perfection. There's no manual to perfection. Um,
I'm gonna be
the
in
only
the
man,
in the delivery room one day, going back to this episode, making sure I'm listening to Jason here.
listen,
It's like
and I'm keeping it real with you. Like, see, it would be easy for me to come on here and paint a pretty picture. But for what? That's not gonna help you. That's actually gonna hurt you more. No, I'm gonna keep it real
yeah,
with you. Like, there's some days that and hopefully this gives you a different aspect and a different look at your parents. That's so that you can forgive them maybe for some things or whatever, and look at them differently. Like, being a parent sucks. You're in charge of a whole life that you have no control over. Zero. You have no control. When my kids leave these doors in the morning, I have no control over how their day is gonna go or what's gonna happen to them during the day. The only control I have is in a very minimal portion when they're here. But life happens. Real life. They could get hit by a
for
car,
sure.
get hit. I mean, like I said, my best friend's little sister, like, she was in the wrong place, wrong time. She wasn't that street life type of person. She wasn't none of that. She was funny. She was happy. She was talented. She was smart. And she got shot in her throat being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Bullets don't have names and they don't have GPSs. So life can happen at any moment. It's not like we woke up that morning like, all right, I'm gonna eat these Captain Crunches. I'm gonna go watch a little football or whatever the case may be. Go outside, play some basketball. Not wash my hands when I come in. Oh, and at 5 p.m., I mean, my little sister's gonna get shot in her throat. No one plans that. No one plans that. That's life. That's exactly how life is.
Yeah.
It's sudden. It's sudden. I mean, so when you look at things from that perspective, it'll make you look at your parents, especially knowing the fact that your parents don't know what they're doing. Parents learn as they go. Period. Anybody that
Yeah,
tells you different, they're lying to you. It's one of those things that no one can train you for. No one can teach. They could say, "Oh, how to change a diaper," and you gotta listen. It's one of the most untrainable fields that anyone will ever walk in because at any moment, the whole parameter of everything that you've thought about life and thought about this one subject can change.
for
But it's
sure.
one of the most
See,
beautiful ones too, man.
I've always thought when it comes to like life, like shit's always changing and adapting. So like you gotta as well. Like you just
Oh
gotta
yeah.
you can't get stuck
You can try to be the best prepared, but you never can be fully.
no matter what.
Exactly.
Listen, there's a saying that I've learned when I was in the streets that I kind of still go by in a sense. It's proper preparation prevents poor performing.
My coach said that
Wow.
for years, bro. Every basketball coach I had. I gotta give out shout out to the varsity. And B Spy, he used to say that every day. It
I
stuck.
think I went to one of your games too.
Bro,
think,
if you came to one
yeah.
of my games in high school, I ain't touching. There's no shot.
I'm trying to think. Ask your aunt what game we went to, because we went to one of your games for sure. A fact, we went to one of your games. I don't think you played that many minutes. I think you were like injured or something like that or whatever.
Yeah,
It was
we'll say I was in
something
there.
along those lines.
Yeah,
or
he had the
whatever.
flu. It was his flu game. It was his
Yeah,
flu
bro, I
game.
had to tap in.
But yeah, we went to one of your games and everything like that. You scored a bucket or two. It was alright.
Yeah.
Mid.
Man, you go.
Pretty
Yeah,
mid.
I'm an
Man,
8 man at best.
I was kind of disappointed. You know, I could have stayed home for that. But
Oh.
Damn.
Oh,
man.
Shit. Shots fired, bro.
Now we're running it blacktop this
I'm
weekend.
with it. Wait. Blacktop, hold on. So I gotta give my knees like 2.5 weeks to prepare for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
now
go
it's
ahead and
2.5
start
weeks.
training.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
now
ahead,
it's
start
2.5
training.
weeks.
Listen. I'm turning 39 tomorrow. 39.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah, this will be coming out on your
Thank you,
birthday.
bro.
Shout out. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Know what I mean? So with that being said, and I'm super unhealthy. Like I don't exercise like I should.
Bro's
The only
ancient.
reason I am, bro. Like
Bro's
listen,
got 20 on me.
yo, listen, a whole dub, bro, a whole dub. Know what I mean? So, I mean,
It's
I
19.
might still spot you like 10 points. I might still.
What, in a game to what?
Yo.
11? Like, what are we talking?
Dude, I need to be here for this.
This is crazy.
Nah, we can play the 21. I still smoke.
Ones and twos. You got a 10-point lead to
You
start.
gonna be able to make it to 21?
That's
As
need a
long as it's
halftime?
only as
You
long as
need a
it's only
halftime?
halftime.
You ask good questions. You do ask good questions. I'm proud of you for that. That's got to be a
That's why I'm
family
here.
trait. That's got to be a family trait, man. You ask good questions. Will I make it to 21? I don't know.
We can
Really
run a
don't know.
halftime. You'll be good.
Fucking
I'm
halftime.
hoping I
Thinking
can
refuel.
listen.
There's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
tell
at
you,
least one
Halftime in a game to
I'm gonna
21
tell
where you
you
get a
like this.
10-point lead.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna give you one amazing play. Amazing, phenomenal. I'm talking about highlight reel play.
One
Da-da-da,
nasty.
da-da-da.
Get this man on ESPN.
Everything else after that is just gonna be me being there. That's it. I got one highlight.
Better save it because
One
you're gonna
highlight
need
play
that
for you.
last bucket.
All I'm saying is one is better than none.
Yeah,
For
you
sure.
got
I mean, I'm
some
already
that
starting out with
listen.
10. So
Listen,
it's less than 10.
Listen, you got some people that have no arms that are not able to do any. That was a bad one. Jason, what are you thinking? This
Yeah, where were you gonna take that, bro? Like,
Where are you going with that?
listen,
That's what I'm
okay,
gonna-
listen.
Because there
I don't
is
even
that
wanna-
one-armed hooper.
We'll edit it out. We're
Yeah.
good.
I
Nah,
don't,
it's
I
also-
don't
Nah,
even know
it's
where
definitely
I'm at.
staying in there.
No, you can keep that. You can keep
Yeah,
that.
it's definitely
That's-
staying in there. I'm not gonna lie.
Listen,
Me,
I really don't know where I was going. That's bad, bro. Like that is. I have a dark mind sometimes. I really do,
So
bro.
do
Like
we.
it was. Listen, it was 100% like 5-6 years ago. It was 100% worse. 3 years ago, it was 100% worse. 100% worse. Like I've cleaned up a lot, and that's by choice. Like some things just come with age, and some things just come
Everyone
with
makes mistakes,
you know,
man.
You know, just
Not
like
all
Hannah
perfect.
Montana said.
Oh,
just
jeez.
like
Oh, my God.
wait.
He pulls up a
Wait.
Hannah Montana. That's crazy.
Oh, I wasn't ready for that one. Hannah Montana. Good.
man.
Okay. All
Got
right.
keeping you on your
So
toes, buddy.
we made it here. We definitely made it here. Not
sure.
exactly happy about the climate, but I mean,
At least
so
we're
be
here.
it, right?
Hey,
Hey,
okay.
we are
We
here.
all.
We are here. But so back to back to my YouTube though. On there, if you do go on there, um, I have one official video on there. Which that's the song for. This is my wife's first song that I made for her. It's called The One. It will forever be unreleased, but just on my YouTube because when I first started, I was one of
That's
those that
Juice
just
World
went and
shit.
grabbed YouTube beats, and because I
Uh,
don't have official licensing or ownership for it, I can't
can't
use
release
it.
it. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's one of those that's just gonna be on there for sentimental value. It's the first video that I made and everything like that. And then I think I have two freestyles on there. One of the freestyles actually turned into a song. That's the song that your aunt is on. Your aunt is on now. I'm still working on doing some editing to it and everything, but the direction that I'm trying to go in is I want I want I want everything to be relatable. I want you to be able to listen to my song, and be like, I felt that at one point, or I'm feeling that now, or oh man, this guy can understand where I am. I mean, like this guy can
That's
understand how I feel, what I think like. I mean, because I feel
that's
like
what makes music kind of
is
sit in your head.
Yeah.
yeah, because I feel like the music game is saturated with
As hell.
um it's saturated with a fantasy type of image that's not realistic. The only thing
Yeah.
that kind of touches is when something is heartfelt. I feel like there's also an agenda being pushed toward more depressed type of people.
For sure.
You
Oh,
know, because
definitely.
that's something that's it's easier to associate with. Oh, I'm depressed. Oh, you're depressed too. I'm depressed too.
Oh,
Like it's
word?
so yeah.
Oh,
Like
word?
yeah,
Oh, for real?
let me buy your album because you're depressed and I'm depressed and I can listen to depressed music. Like
You're
I mean,
depressed.
so
I'm depressed. We're all depressed. Welcome.
listen,
That's the
it's
thing
a
I don't
depressed
get.
party. Hmm?
It's depressing music. Like if I'm in a sad mood, I'm not just gonna like sit there and listen to sad ass music. I'm gonna go
Sure.
Really?
the opposite spectrum and I'm gonna listen to like pick me up type shit.
Yeah, like,
So
I'm
the
trying to
way I
turn
kind
my
of
mood
view that,
around.
right, is yeah, the way I kind of view that is like after a breakup, right? All of a sudden you're gonna go and listen to like these sad songs, then you get in your feels, then
And
it gets
it just
worse.
gets
But
worse.
it's get up, go get active, like
That's what I'm
stay
saying.
positive, find the
Throw
positive in things.
throw some Lil Jon on.
Yeah, dude.
What?
Little John. Yo.
But also for everyone listening that's gonna check out Jay's YouTube channel, stay tuned. There will be a 10-second video with one highlight that it'll have on TJ.
That one
Wow.
That
high.
should be
It'll
coming
be a
It's gonna
really
be
nice highlight
amazing.
reel, and I say highlight, not
It's gonna
highlights.
be amazing. Listen, you listen.
He is dick riding.
It's it's gonna be amazing, bro. Like I promise you, it's you're gonna be like, nah, you used to hoop for real, and I'm gonna look at you and say, yeah, yeah, I used
If
to.
it's not
And then
ESPN
he's gonna
top
be
10, I'm gonna
like
be
I
very
said, used
Not
to,
it.
and cook you
It
for
is,
21.
I definitely
bro.
don't hoop
Listen.
for real. I'm like max a casual YMCA, you know. So
Nah,
it's
I've
like
seen some YMCA cats that like
they're hey
dog.
really
they
are
ball
into it, though. Yeah,
Even
for
though he's a
sure, for
running
sure.
back,
Like,
dog.
dog.
oh man,
I didn't even know he was a basketball player. Dog.
Dog,
Oh,
anyways.
that's
Still
listen,
a dog.
I didn't know he had
yeah.
both
That's
his
the only thing I
arms.
got left.
Dog.
Dog.
Yeah, that's the only one
No,
I covered, right?
Yep.
no. Okay.
Oh, that's the next year shit.
All right, Jason. I mean, I don't have any more questions for you. I don't know if TJ and Travis they had all the questions written down. I
Yeah,
was just going off the
we
hip.
were
I'm not gonna lie.
we were just kind of covering that. We only got Lily's question from last week.
Oh, word. All right.
Yeah.
So then, if you guys got that written down, because I don't remember what that question was.
Yeah, TJ
Yeah, I
got
did.
it.
Yeah.
Word. Good looks.
Yeah, I didn't make you urge
We
panic.
got you, bro.
It's
That's what a team is for. That's what a team is for.
yeah. What is your motivation? And hopefully that is right.
What do you mean? Hopefully
What
that's
is
right. You
your
didn't go back and look.
Yeah,
and
you
double
wrote
check?
it down, I thought.
No, I did write it down, but I didn't pod or so I'm like 92% sure. But the look he just gave me, now it's at about.
Well, I mean, you
85.
second guess yourself. So definitely. I guess.
And
Nah,
I'm
fuck
over
it,
here
we
triple
ball.
guessing.
What is your motivation?
Fuck it, we
That
ball.
sounds good.
Sounds like something she'd
Fucking
ask.
ball.
My motivation is definitely my family. That's kind of a loaded question
Yeah, for
because
sure.
to ask
They
someone
usually
what
are.
their motivation is, you would have to ask them in what direction, you know, because motivation can go in many different ways,
I thought
take
you were
on
about to
many
go
different.
get
I
it.
mean, but if you're asking me what motivates me and what drives me to continue to grow, it's not just my love for
Yeah.
God, because of course God is first. Without God, I wouldn't be who I am today. But what motivates me to continue to heal and continue to grow and continue to show better is the future that I'm leading. And I don't necessarily mean that for the entirety of the world. I more specifically mean that for my household, you know, because
Yeah.
out of me is gonna come a future, which my kids. I mean, so what I do will show them better than me telling them, as far as, being a man, being responsible, being reliable, having manners, showing having good rapport, things like that. It's definitely my family. I have an amazing wife, and I have some dope kids. So I just want to continue to be the example for them. My job as, a provider, a protector, and a teacher, I take those things very seriously. So, um, definitely, I would say my family.
It's a good answer.
For
I mean,
sure.
For sure, for sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, my motivation right now, anyways, is just like to put out a good word, like put out a good message, put out good content for my family, and again, it comes back down to this podcast, like you said, just being able to get our stories across, and that goes down to all the content I put out. I want to show people that, hey, no matter how much time you think you have in the day, like there's always that little bit of time that you can make a difference in somebody else's life by spreading positivity, man. Like that's my motivation.
X, X.
No doubt.
Jason, what's your question for our next guest?
Question for the next guest. So my question for the next guest is going to be: if you had a message for your past you, what would it be? And if you can give advice to your new you, what would it be?
That's a good one.
Wow.
Little
That's a good
double,
question.
little two-parter. You like
Little
to hear it?
little 1A, 1B. I like it.
You'll like to hear it. Well, I mean, if
Just a little razzle dazzle, make them
a
think a
little
little.
sizzle,
Yeah.
give him the fucking sizzle,
Hit him with that hezzy. Yeah.
the fucking scoop and
Not
dupe.
the hezzy though. Not the hezzy. Not a hezzy one time, man. At least.
Well,
At
Jason,
least,
I
at least.
do want to say
Not a
thank you
wall
for coming
for
on the podcast, man. It was a really interesting episode. I loved what you had to say. You spread a really good message tonight. So I just want to thank you again
Absolutely.
for joining us
My
on this
pleasure.
fine evening, this Tuesday evening.
Yeah, this was awesome, man.
It was a really good episode. Like I said, I really enjoyed having you on, so thank you again. For our listeners, thank you so much for the support and constant viewership and listening on
Absolutely.
all our platforms. Again, if you like this podcast, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, as well as leave a
Share
podcast
with your
review
friends.
on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Share with your friends and family because we love you just as much as they do. I swear, okay? Just don't
Swear to God.
Promise,
ask me
I'm
in
not
public.
lying
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah, we're
Just
not
don't
lying.
lie
I
this
swear.
time.
I'll be back next time.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thanks
Yeah, I
so much
promise.
for listening. Jason, thank you again. You guys have a great
Of
rest of your
course.
week.
Good night,
Peace.
everyone.